Okay, hey, this is Mr. Shafto. I am going to go through Suite 18, Day 4. You can get a head start on this as we continue working on it tomorrow. So question number 1 says, what is the value of 1/2 to the 4th? A lot of you have done this problem already, but if I'm solving it, basically you would have 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. And the reason we did this 1, 2, 3, 4 times is because it says to the 4th up here. And so it's 1/2 to the 4th. So if I solve this, I would have 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4, because 1 times 1 gives me 1, and 2 times 2 gives me 4. And 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. And we multiply those, and I get 1/16 as my final answer. So I put 1/16. Let's go to question number 2. Question number 2 reads, Miss Cook class bought 2 bags of concrete and some bricks to build their class garden. The bricks cost $51. The total cost of the bricks and the concrete was $57. What equation can be used to find the cost of 1 bag? So we're all going to have our total. And so the total here is 57. And that's going to be equal to the bricks plus the concrete. And so if we look, it says it's 2 bags of concrete. So we could put 2B for 2 bags of concrete and some bricks. It says the bricks cost $51. So this is $51 for the bricks plus 2 bags of concrete is equal to 57. So over here I look at 51 plus 1 bag of concrete. That's not right. 51 bags of concrete plus 2 bricks. That's not right. 51 bags of concrete plus 2 bricks. Sorry, 2 bags of concrete plus $51 for bricks. And this is the correct answer right here. Question number 3 says, what is the value of 1/3 x squared plus 2 when x is equal to 6? This is really important that x is 6. So I'm going to type in 1/3. But remember, x is a variable. So I'm going to put parentheses. And instead of that x, I'm putting a 6. And that's squared plus 2. I'm going to use my focus box for PEMDAS. We know we do parentheses first. Sorry, this goes here. And then after we do parentheses, we do exponent. So exponents is next. So 6 squared gives me 6 times 6, which is equal to 36. And so that's going to be 1/3 parentheses 36 plus 2. So if I look at this, I have 1/3 times 36. Well, here this is 1 times 36, and this is a fraction over 1. And the fraction bar means divide, so it's divided by 3. So 36 divided by 3. 3 goes into 3 1 time, and 3 goes into 6 2 times. So that's 12 plus 2, which is equal to 14. So I get 14 over here. Question number 4 says the ticket prices to a play are $5 for teachers and $3 for students. So I've got my teachers, I have my students. And it's $5 and says how much will it cost for a group of 71 students? So that's 71 students and they're $3 each. And then I have 5 teachers and they're $5 each. And so if I do 5 times 5, that gives me $25. If I do 71 times 3, well, 3 times 70 is 21, and it's 210, and 3 times 1 is 3, so that's 213. And then I add these together. I have 213 plus 25, and I end up with 5 plus 3 is 8, 2 plus 1 is 3, and then I have the 2. So this is $238. $238. Question number 5 says, which point shows the location of -6 on the number line? So if I look at this, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be 4 right here. 6. So it's P is the correct answer here. It's not Q because that's going in the wrong direction for the negatives. Question number 6, which can be represented by the expression 2 parentheses x minus 5 close the parentheses. Let's look at A. A would be 5 less, so that's minus 5, not 5 minus, but minus 5, then 2 times x. So this is 2 times x, and then it's minus 5 because it's 5 less than this thing right here. So that's not right. 2 multiplied by x less than 5. So this would be 2 multiplied by x, and there really should be a comma here. 2 multiplied by x less than 5. So that would be 5 minus 2x. C says twice, and there should be a comma here, the difference of x and 5. So that's 2 parentheses, that comma indicates some pause, the difference of x and 5, x minus 5. So that's going to be my answer is C. The last one says the product of 2 and x, that's 2 and x multiplied, decreased by 5, so that would be minus 5. So that's not it either. The answer is C. Question number 7 says, which expression is equivalent to 2y plus 9x minus 3 plus 4x minus 2y? I like to draw my boxes here. Show me that this is a plus 9, this is a minus 3, this is a plus 4, this is a minus 2y, and this is a plus 8. So we create our t-chart. I have my y's, I have my x's, and I have my numbers. So my y's is a 2y. A lot of people get the signs wrong. This is a positive 9x. This is a minus 3. This is a plus 4x. This is a minus 2y. And then a plus 8. And a lot of people forget this negative 3 and they forget the negative 2y. So 2y minus 2y, or negative 2y, gives me 0y. So this whole section just goes away. 9x plus 4x is 13x. 8 and negative 3 gives me 5. So my answer is 13x plus 5. Question 8 says, Dan can use the equation y equals 8x to describe the amount of money he spent on shirts at Walmart, where y is the amount of money and x is the shirts. So I've got y equals 8x. And y is money. How many shirts did Dan purchase if he spent money, $48? So the y should be 48 equals 8 times some number x. So is 8 times 6 48? Is 8 times 8 48? Is 8 times 40 48? Or is 8 times 384 48? And 6 is the correct answer here, because if we divided by 8 on both sides, those are opposites, so they cancel. I have x by itself. Divide by 8, and 48 divided by 8 is 6. So x equals 6. Question 9 says, if 1/4 y equals 8, so that's 1/4 y equals 8. So the fourth of some number is 8. What is the value of 2y plus 3? So I have 1/4 over here, 1/4 of some number. So if you remember, I've got y times 1 because this is over 1. So I end up with y over 4. This is the same thing, is equal to 8. And fraction bar means divide. So really this is y divided by 4. Well, the opposite of dividing by 4 is times 4. So I'm going to multiply times 4 on both sides. These cancel because they're opposites. Times 4, fraction bar means divided by 4. So I'm left with y by itself is equal to 8 times 4 is 32. Now you could be tempted to circle 32, but we're not done, because now we need to substitute 2 parentheses, and there used to be a y there, and so that should be 32 instead of the y. So 32 plus 3 is 2 times 35. 2 times 35 is equal to 70. So the answer is B, 70. Question 10 says that an isosceles triangle, now if you remember, isosceles means it's a triangle that has two sides that are the same. So this side and this side are the same length. Word congruent would be the vocabulary word. Has a base of 2x plus 3. So my first step is to draw the triangle. Each of the other sides are 2 more than the base. What expression would represent the perimeter? So we're adding up all the sides. So I've got side 1, side 2, and side 3. So the base is 2x plus 3. And then it says each of the other sides are 2 more than the base. So I've still got the same base plus 2 extras. So it's 2x plus 3. That's the same thing. And then plus 2 more. This is 2x plus 3 and plus 2 more. So that gives me 2x plus 5. So I've got side 1 is 2x plus 3. Side 2 is 2x plus 5. And side 3 is 2x plus 5. So if I add these together, I end up with 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 3 is 13. And that's 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6x plus 13, which is B. Question number 11 says a company that makes boxes finds that 6 out of 8 boxes are damaged. What percentage of the boxes are damaged? When I see percent, I need to think out of 100. So this sets up part over the whole, so that's 6 out of 8 is equal to some number over 100, because that's my percent. And so if I take 6 and divide by 8 using a calculator, 6 divided by 8, I'm going to end up with 0.75. So take 6 divided by 8, that's 0.75, but then we divided going down, my arrow, and so we need to go the opposite direction to get back to our box. So this is, since it's opposite directions, we go opposite operations. Here we divided, so now we're going to multiply over here, times 0.75, and that gives me 75, because I did 0.75 times 100. That's 75. So 75 is my answer, 75%. Question 12 says, which choice is equivalent to the expression 2, parentheses, 4, and 6y? So if I remember this, I've got 2 times 4 gives me 8, and 2 times 6y should give me 12y. This is an area model when we multiply the outside times the top, the outside times the top. And that gives me 8 plus 12y. So that's going to be A is the correct answer. Question 13 says a trapezoid in a coordinate plane has vertices -2, 5, -3, 2, 2, -2, and 1, 5. What is the height for the trapezoid? So let's draw my coordinate plane. This isn't going to be perfect, but we're going to try. The trapezoid, the height is going to go from the bottom to the top. I have -2, 1, 2, 5. So it's going to be up here somewhere. -2, comma, 5. So this is, our height's going to go bottom to top. So, well, let's draw it first and see. Then I have -3, -2. So I go 1, 2, 3, -2. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I went down here. So really, I can draw this and connect it. Then I have 2, -2. So I have 1, 2, and then -2 down here. And then I have 1, 5. So I have 1 and then up to 5. So I can connect these dots with my trapezoid. So if I go from the bottom, this is -2 to the top, 5, and then go 1, 2, so that's 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's 5. So together I end up with 7 units. Question 14 says Jack drew a number line on his paper. Now you'll notice that the letters are not right. So I'm going to rewrite my letters. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. And it says Jack drew a new point 65% of the distance from point B, which I'm going to draw right here, to point J, which is going to be right here. So we count this, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 jumps. And this is 100%. So this is 0, 8 out of 8. This is 0%, which is 0 out of 8. Between which two letters does the new point lie? And so we're looking for 65. So if I'm jumping by 8, I know that halfway will be 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's going to be 50. This is 50. Then I know that half of 50 is 25, so that's going to be 25. And if I do half of that, that's going to be 75. So what I do now, it's divided by 8, so I don't really know what's in the middle. So let's try that. We're going to take 100 divided by 8, and I get 12.5. So if I do times 5, I end up with 62.5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 62.5. So that means that 65 will be somewhere right here, which is between G and H. Remember, the reason I multiplied times 5 because I was trying to figure out, I know that that's 50, I know that this was 75, so I'm going in the middle. So G would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gaps, and that's 5 out of 8. And so 5 out of 8 is equal to 62.5%. Question 5 says, which equation below represents the relationship between x and y? So let's go through this and see what works. So I have y equals x minus 4. And the reason I'm putting parentheses here is because I want to substitute. So the first number is y. So let's pick a random y. Let's use the zeros. So 0 equals, and then the x is 0, 0 minus 4. Is that true? No, it's not. So this is automatically wrong. Let's look at the next one. Parentheses equals parentheses minus 6. So let's use the 0 again. 0 equals 0 minus 6. Is that right? No, it is not. So we're going to erase it. That's wrong. Then I have parentheses equals 3 parentheses. So 0 equals 3 times 0. Well, 3 times 0 is 0. So that does work. We're not done, though, because sometimes that's not what I wanted. There we go. Sometimes when we set these up, it works for one, but it doesn't work the other. So let's check and see if it works for 6 and 2. So I have parentheses equals 3 parentheses. So I have y is 2, so I put the 2 where the y is supposed to be, and I have 6 here. So 3 times 6 is 2. Well, that's not right. So C is wrong as well. So let's go ahead and see what's going on here. That's not what I wanted. If we can go ahead and do some calculations. So if I had parentheses, that's my y, and the y is 2, is equal to some number over 3, and that number should be 6. So I have 6 over 3. Is 6 divided by 3 2? Yes, it is. So this D is my answer.
Taxis, Ricketts to the front lobby immediately. Taxis, Ricketts to the front lobby immediately.
Okay, our next problem is question number 16. The Wilsons want to put outdoor carpet on their porch. How much carpet will be needed for their porch? So I can divide this up. The first step is divide it up. And so this is easy. I've got my length and my height. So that's 3 times 3 is 9. So then this one down here, I know that's 3. This up here is 3. So that means this guy down here is also 3. So 3 and 3 together makes 6. So I have 3 times 6 gives me 18 And so I take 18 plus 9, and I get 27 inches squared. So that's going to be C. Question 17 says, what is the volume of the right rectangular prism below? Go ahead and zoom out a bit so we can see. And so what's the volume of this right rectangular prism? So I've got this prism, and I see it's 1, 2, 3, 4 tall. And I see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across. Then I see 1, 2, 3, plus a little bit extra, that tiny one there. And this tiny one is 1.25. So it's 0.125. And if you're savvy with math, you'll realize that this isn't actually right because it should be 0.5 because it's only half going up. But let's go with what the rubric says. There was a mistake made somewhere. I'm not sure why. We'll figure it out. So this is length times width times height is equal to the volume of a rectangular prism. So length times width times height, I'm going to take 4 times 5 times 1.125. And so that gives me 20 times 3.125. So let's calculate that. 20 times 3.125. And that's equal to 62.5. Because it was off a little bit, our answer, we're just going to estimate the closest one is 60. My last question shows this net, and it says, what is the surface area? So remember, we're going to be in 2D, which is why I have the 2 here. And we're finding area because it's 2 dimensions. So what's the surface area? So let's go ahead and find this rectangle. The base is 6, and the height is 12. So 6 times 12 is 72. Know that because 5 times 12 is 60 plus another 12. This middle rectangle here, the base is 8 and the height is 12. So that's 8 times 12 is 96. Then over here, the base is 10. And some people said the height was 8, but that's not true. Because if this is 12 and this is 12, then this also is 12. And so 10 times 12 is 120. My triangle, the base is 8, and the height is 6. So this is going to be 6 times 8 divided by 2, which is going to be 24. And this is going to be 24 because 6 times 8 is 48. And that divided by 2 is 24. So then I've got 120 and 96 and 72 and 24 and 24. So we're going to add these up. So I've got 6 and 4 is 10, plus 4 plus 2 is 6, carry the 1. I've got 9 and 1 is 10, 7 and 2 is 19, 21, 22, 23. Carry the 2. So that's going to be 336 centimeters squared.